West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. I am your host this evening, Cody, and I've got the Shovik brothers to the opposite side of my screen. It is just the three of us tonight. Matt, our compadre, he is still overseas right now doing his Navy duty, so we wish him well. He'll be back this week, I think tonight, if I'm not mistaken. To be continued, though. We have a lot going on this week, and Friday is still still top secret, so you guys have to tune in for Friday for that. Tonight, though, we were supposed to be joined by Mr. Jimmy Smith of the Jaguars. We had to reschedule, and so we will let you guys know once that is rescheduled, and we'll post about it and all that good stuff. But for tonight, we're going to be reviewing Week 5 in the AFC West and in the NFL. Shovix, how we feeling tonight?
Duval.
Oh, good God.
I mean, other teams lost in the division too, guys.
I know the one guy that says Duval is the one team that won this whole week. So
whatever.
Anyways, guys, anything that stood out to you guys in Week 5 before we get underway?
Raiders got clapped.
Okay.
Literally.
Well, okay.
Belt to ass, as the saying's going right now.
Yeah, it was not great. Before we get started, though, we do want to thank our big sponsor, JBW Solutions. You guys are watching us in the JBW Solutions studios. Jeff and the crew, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for being supportive. And we got Momik Shovik. Yeah, last night was tough. Well, not for me.
Yeah,
on Sunday Night Football, but I get you. Anyways, we also want to give a special shout out to all of our other partners. They're linked down below. We'll give a shout out to them at the end of the show. But JBW Solutions, appreciate Jeff and the crew. We're dubbing the hats right now. So if you guys need safety compliance and all that good stuff, go and see our friends at JBW Solutions. So I guess now is as good a time than ever to get started, you guys.
But I do want to say that typically on a normal episode, this would be the black and silver ops.
Yes.
It's no longer that.
The Raiders have changed a SEGI name for us 5 weeks in.
5 weeks in, and they already have our friend here switching SEGI names.
We had to do a change, you guys. So
I look forward to it every Sunday, basically.
So we were like texting during the game, and my brother kept mentioning something, and then Cody was like, no more, no more, no more. And then what do you know? Like 2 hours later, it was there.
Yeah.
And we're like, so if you guys haven't seen the beautiful reel that Cody posted the other day of the score, the box score, and the little clip of the grandma who explicits, but please do go watch it, because that is exactly how Cody was.
Yep. Has been all season.
His exact reaction the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's not been pretty. So tonight we are debuting a new SEGI. As Cory has said, it's replacing the Black and Ops report to Cody's Crashout. So
Woo.
leave it to your good buds to love your mental health deteriorating because of your favorite team. So thank you, Shovix, for that. I guess I'm just going to get started because I've actually been saving this for whenever we were going to get on screen. I know last week I kind of had a, leave Brittany alone moment crash out with the Raiders when they lost to the Bears. This one was far worse. In fact, it's far more depressing. And I'll just recap. I don't think I need to, but Sunday, the Raiders got their asses handed to them 40-6, and it was not a pretty showing. And I've never seen the Raiders quit like that on a football field. And I've seen them have Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I've seen them have Antonio Pierce as a head coach. I've never seen a team quit on the field like that in my time watching the Raiders. And I'm saying I've been through the Josh McCown Raiders. I've seen the Aaron Brooks Raiders, and never seen what I saw on Sunday. And what I'm upset about and what I get frustrated with is we've had this offseason where we thought we drafted well. You guys stop it over there. If you guys are watching, we've drafted well. I assume Geno Smith being acquired would be a positive because we needed a quarterback last season is what we needed. We needed a quarterback. Well, we have a quarterback who now leads the NFL with 9 interceptions. And these guys over here were texting me yesterday, and we were talking about Geno Smith, and then I had to hit him with facts. I said, did you guys know that Geno Smith didn't throw his 9th interception until I think it was week 10 last season? And also, he had, I think, 4 multi-interception games. He had 4 all of last season on the Seahawks. And now he has 3 as of Sunday. And he leads the NFL in interceptions, as mentioned. And I've never seen a quarterback regress so poorly to where now we are calling for him to be benched after signing him to a contract extension, trading a 3rd-round pick for him. The head coach Pete Carroll, who we signed in the offseason, who we said, this is the guy that's going to turn around the Raiders. We look worse. We then signed Chip Kelly. Oh, our offense is going to be dynamite. It's dog shit. I've seen teams play far better. I've said this before we started. The Jaguars are 4-1 with Liam Cohen, first-time head coach, first-time offensive coordinator, first-time D coordinator, first-time GM. They're 4-1 right now in a division that's quite winnable for any of those teams that have a winning record. You look at the Saints. As badly as the Saints have been, they have been in a lot of their games. Offensively, that team has not let up. Brian Schottenheimer with the Cowboys has got them actually looking pretty good. First-time head coach. We have a Super Bowl winning head coach. The Raiders look like that they are fighting for a number 1 overall pick. And quite frankly, I think that they should. And the way that Pete Carroll has operated this team, the way that in his press conference, he is gaslighting Raider Nation. Stop laughing over there, you guys. He is gaslighting Raider Nation into basically saying, we need to practice more. We need to practice more. I didn't pull him because we need to practice. He's a 10, 12-year vet. What more practice does he need to run an offense and not turn the ball over? I feel like you know that before you get in the NFL. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give the opposing team more opportunities. I feel so sick right now for Max Crosby. You guys are loving this, aren't you? I feel so sick for Max Crosby right now. The fact that he signed a 3-year extension at the time, highest paid, to be put out on the field like this. And unfortunately, I don't see an end in sight. Jermaine Pratt was released yesterday, and there are reports out there that it's only going to get worse, that other players have also expressed feelings and being upset with how this coaching staff has been. And that does make me feel good. What players are those? Are they pivotal players? Because even with Antonio Pierce last season, I never felt like he lost the locker room. Pete Carroll, I don't know if he's lost the locker room, but the symptoms are there. And I'm afraid if I hear a report come out that the Raiders had a players only meeting, shit, it's the end of times for us. So that's my crash out right now. I think if I go any further, I'm literally gonna spit on camera, and I need to compose myself because we still have a whole show to run. But I think what I'll close this segment on, and I'll let you guys talk, is I think what I'm upset about is Pete Carroll is supposed to be the guy that turns the Raiders around. We've been hearing that. Austin, you're a Pete Carroll guy. We've heard it from all sides of the NFL, not even just Raider Nation. We've heard it from other NFL fans that, oh yeah, Pete Carroll's a good choice. He's a guy that will turn around the Raiders. Geno Smith, he's an accurate quarterback. He'll keep these guys into ball games. He's quite literally, Geno Smith is the reason why Raiders are not in ball games. Because every time he has the ball, if he's not handing it off to Ashton Genty, he's thrown an interception. Literally, that's all he is. And Pete Carroll is enabling this problem. And I now don't know if I want Pete Carroll as the head coach anymore, because if he's not going to turn this around, I have no idea what the solution is. So I know. All right, you're
Stop it. This is the same thing the Raiders fans do every
out
year.
right now.
It's the same thing the Raiders fans do every year. I mean, they did the same thing with Antonio Pierce, right?
Well, that's a little different.
Barely into the season.
Antonio Pierce had the blueprint for the Chiefs.
Then they did. So it's the revolving cycle. I get it. Pete's still the guy. Don't get it twisted. Pete's still the guy. He's got to get rid of Chip Kelly. I've said it multiple times in 5 weeks that Chip Kelly's doo-doo. He's never been worth the piss in the NFL. He was the hot name at the time when the Eagles hired him, and we saw how that failed. 49ers tried the same thing, failed. UCLA, he couldn't do anything there. He even leaves UCLA to go to Ohio State, who, again, anyone could go coach that offense with those guys that he had last year, those 2 running backs, Jeremiah Smith. I mean, you can say what you want about Will Howard, but he got the best out of Will Howard. So, again, if this doesn't show that Chip Kelly still can't do it in the NFL, I don't know. And I do think that Geno does have a little bit of that. Let's not act like Geno was a career backup, right? He was a career backup. So we got lucky in some of the Seattle stuff with Russ and doing all that. They ran into some good fortunes. But even when he was doing okay in Seattle, I don't necessarily think that meant he was going to be a franchise quarterback. Maybe I'm wrong, but I still feel like he's always been a career backup, and that's what you're getting right now. It just hurts that you gave him the 3 for 75. But yeah, again, Pete's the guy. I think he's going to have to make those decisions in this offseason. And we're still, my God, this week 5. What are we?
That's typical offseason for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Now listen, if we were 1-4, which is what we are now, if we were 1-4, but we were like competitive to the sense of like, there's no question that guys aren't quitting on Pete Carroll. We're missing this, we're missing that. I can live with that. I can't live with 1-4. You get the break speed off you by 34 to the Colts. And I'm not saying the Colts are a terrible team. Clearly, they're on a hot streak. We ran into a buzzsaw. It is what it is. But we have late game blunders where we lose to the Bears, where we should have beaten the Bears. I get the Chargers. They're a good team. I'm not saying that we should have beat the Chargers. But Geno Smith committing all those turnovers, or at least not giving Ashton Genty the ball to make our offense look better, that's not great. I think I'm seeing Raiders mistakes that I suspected that a seasoned head coach would have not allowed, and yet it seems to be okayed.
I think Chip Kelly also brings an ego to this, where he still thinks he's hot shit when he's really not, right? So I don't know, and I do think he makes $6 million. He's the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL, which blew my mind. I actually just figured that out a few days ago. I didn't know he was the highest paid offensive coordinator until I heard they were talking about it. And he's $6 million. I was like, holy shit.
Right.
So Pete Carroll's going to have to make that decision. Our Raiders are known for giving up on coaches early and soon. So I don't see why they wouldn't, if this continues, to just say, hey, we bite the bullet on this one. Chip, we're going to have to go in a different direction and see if you can somewhat salvage the locker room as is. Because I think Max Crosby is going to be key in all this. If you lose Max Crosby and if he starts kind of questioning things, then you've lost the team. And I'm not going to go deep into the previews for tomorrow or for tomorrow's episode when we'll preview the Raiders and Titans game. But I told you, Cody, in the text, you're going to see everything you need to know about this Raiders team coming up this weekend. And we'll get more in-depth on that in tomorrow's show.
Yeah, no, I think you guys covered everything. I mean, Raiders suck. I think Geno isn't the quarterback that can cover, the holes on a team. He's someone who will just go jump right on in. He's not good enough to glaze over a weak roster. Chip Kelly doesn't help, but I still say you gotta fix the offensive line, and you got to get a different play caller, different offense in there before you can really gauge too much at anything else. I agree with the lack of effort. You don't like seeing that, period, but let alone from a Pete Carroll team. So, yeah, I mean, it's weird that after week 5, we're sitting here talking about what the Raiders need to do in the offseason.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty typical offseason plan time for the Raiders. So, yeah, you guys covered it pretty well. I enjoy seeing your crash outs.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
I do want to say, so I texted you guys this information yesterday when you brought this up, Cory, about Chip Kelly being the highest paid offensive coordinator, and he's on the Raiders. I found that ironic because last season, for AP's first full season of head coach, he originally wanted to hire Cliff Kingsbury, and he was offered a position. Cliff Kingsbury accepted the role, but when they were talking about salary negotiation, the Raiders wouldn't come up to, I think it was like $5 or $6 million per year that he wanted. And Cliff ultimately walked away, went to the Commanders. Stories written, Commanders went on to NFC Championship game, and that offense with Jaden Daniels looked great, right? And that's where the Raiders then ended up getting Luke Getsy, who was our offensive coordinator until we dismissed him, I want to say like week 9 of the NFL season and all that stuff. So the Raiders are also their own worst problem. And, I think, Cory and I, we're on the same page with like Chip Kelly isn't all that. I don't think he is. I was apprehensive when the Raiders signed him originally because I just remember the days in Philadelphia. I remember the days in San Francisco, even his college days, like outside of Oregon, what else has he really done? And don't say Ohio State. No, I'm not saying that you guys would have, but Ohio State had like a $21 million roster that anybody could have coached to a national championship game. And I don't think Chip Kelly is worth anything. And honestly, like he's probably coached himself out of the NFL. So I think I'm done crashing out because I can keep going.
It was a smart move by Cliff Kingsbury too, to not take that job, even if it's $6 million, because I feel like if he gets caught up into that situation with the Raiders, he may risk losing out on a chance to be the head coach himself.
Right.
And the Raiders just didn't. I don't think the Raiders would have had a quarterback. I don't think Aiden O'Connell would have been the guy for Cliff Kingsbury's trying to do.
Right.
So I in the end, I think Cliff Kingsbury makes the right call and the right move, because now he's going to coach himself back into a head coaching position. Whereas if he would have went to the Raiders, I don't see that. He may have been let go when AP was let go.
I don't think so. I think he would have put together a better product on the field than what Luke Getsy did, my opinion. I mean, the bar is really low for Luke Getsy. Like, the only other coach that is right there in the piss poor realm of him and I'll say Chip Kelly is Nathaniel Hackett.
Hell yeah.
I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is anywhere close to that. I think, if anything, Dan Quinn is allowing him to showcase that he can coach in the NFL, or at least offensively. I don't know how he's going to be as a head coach. We don't know that. But offensively, as a coordinator, he's pretty good, at least from what we're seeing on the field. So, all right. I think I'm done crashing out, you guys. I don't think we need to talk about anything else on the Raiders side of it. So thank you for letting me debut that. I hope I excited you guys with that. I'm sure you guys are chuckling over there, so I'm sure it was great for y'all to see.
Look forward to it next week.
Hell yeah.
All right, Austin, I think it's time for your seggy. So it's Austin's aerial attack. So who was your defense that I guess that you were in love with this week?
I think this week was a pretty easy choice. It was obviously the Indianapolis Colts.
I teed that right up for you. God dang it.
You did. It perfect segues for the seggy. But truthfully, I mean, we do know the Raiders are a hot mess. But when games get out of control like that, you see a lot of even garbage time. And like the Raiders couldn't even get garbage time offense. Like even the Ravens against the Chiefs got some garbage time offense going when that game got out of control. So,
Right.
But I mean, still held Geno to under 200 yards passing, couple turnovers. You know, they had 4 sacks as a team. Raiders as a team only averaged 4 yards a carry. And then the most important stat, they held the Raider to 6 points. I mean, in the end, it really doesn't matter what you do as a defense outside of points. And the Raiders, fortunately, only scored 6. So my boy Danny Dimes got a big dub. But yeah, pretty easy that just the Colts defense in general. It's still the NFL. It's still hard to shut a team out. It's still hard to, you know, hold the team to 6-7 points. Might become a regular thing for teams playing the Raiders, I guess, in the meantime. But
So you're saying stream defenses that are playing the Raiders?
that would be smart, because even if they get a couple touchdowns, Geno's likely to give you the ball once or twice. Like,
statistically speaking,
right? We're like a third of the way through the season. The odds are in your
we're
favor.
not even a third of the way. We're only week 5. A third would be next week.
Well, close. Okay, math. I'm like not specifically 33.3%, but you know, basically a third of the way through, and Geno's up there. So
what you're saying is your aerial attack award is going to Geno Smith. He was the Colts' best defensive player.
That's true. Yeah, no, but still, like the Colts, it's easy to overlook a team like the Raiders these days. You know, kind of a trap game is what it could call it. You know, like you don't really show up for them. So it's still something to be said that they showed up, held the Raiders out of the end zone, forced some turnovers, and when my brother said put belt to ass in that game. So pretty easy aerial assault pick this week.
Yeah, assault is one thing.
Yeah, you guys feel violated.
I mean, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, Cory, you're Seggy now, since
got to be the Raiders.
It's not. It's actually. It's weirdly enough, it's not. I'm putting Denver in there this week.
What?
Now,
wow. Okay.
Now's the time, right? Like we've literally just spent the first 20 minutes of the episode talking about the Raiders are raiding right now, right? So the Chargers are getting just absolutely destroyed on the injury front. The Chiefs are choking games away on the road to the Jaguars. You have the Jets coming up, you have the Giants coming up, and you have the Cowboys coming up. And then after the Cowboys, then the Texans. So your next few games here, you can really, really do some damage. And I need Sean Payton to continue to be aggressive. The fourth quarter, actually the second half Sean Payton that I saw Sunday is the Sean Payton that I want. That's the Bo Nix that I want the rest of this season, especially the fourth quarter Bo Nix. We saw Bo Nix actually start slinging it, and he was setting his feet. He was ripping the ball. There was that huge play to Courtland Sutton that he just absolutely ripped it, and Sutton had a nice catch and run to keep the drive alive and keep the clock running. So now's the time. You talked a lot in the offseason about this is the 7th best team that you've had, and that this team would be a Super Bowl team. Hang on. I'm not saying Super Bowl team, but I am saying now's the time that you have to take advantage of a down division. You have to be able to continue to run the football. J.K. Dobbins is number 5 in the NFL in rushing yards right now at 402 yards. So he's actually on a really good pace that Denver hasn't had a running back that's been on a good pace like this in some time. So again, Bo Nix is second in the NFL behind Baker Mayfield, which we're going to talk about the Bake Show here shortly. But Bo Nix has 4 touchdown throws of 20 plus air yards. Only Baker Mayfield's ahead of him there. So again, Denver's defense couldn't have played any better. 10 of the 14 pressures and 5 of the 6 sacks the Broncos had on Jalen Hurts were with 4 or fewer pass rushers. That's according to the Next Gen Stats, and that was Devin Jackson on X who posted that. So thanks for providing that. Zach Allen had a team high 5 pressures. Nick Bonito extended his NFL lead in pressures to 31, and he now leads the NFL with 7 sacks. So now's absolutely the time. You're starting to – I think they call the first 4 games the preseason of the regular season because a lot of guys don't play much in the preseason, so now they're starting to get it. Something clicked in the third quarter heading into the end of that game for Denver. I know Sean Payton questioned the guys and at halftime asking them who are they actually afraid of, who are they scared of. Evan Ingram was telling Sean Payton he was pissed off at him, which Sean Payton responded with, "I'm pissed at you." And then Evan Ingram comes out in the second half and balls out. So something happened, and I like it. I need that to continue because I don't want to be like these two guys. I want to sit here and I want to continue to see the team progress. Now is the time to not regress. Now you got to start building. And these next few games right here for Denver is a chance for them to really do it. I love Terrell Davis, and I don't know if I could say that. I mean, I guess I can see some of it, but that's high praise. I'd like to see him continue to do this, but that's on Sean Payton to continue to get him the ball, and then that's on Bo Nix to continue setting his feet and let it rip because he was doing a really nice job of it. So that's my crossfire. It's not really calling anyone out. It's more of putting Denver there, saying, "Hey, now's the time. Go take it."
Yeah, it's hard for me to. You guys are coming off a big win against Philly. I don't think there should be any crossfire towards Denver. They do have an easy stretch coming up to where they should easily go 4-0. So I think at the end of that 4-game stretch, if they're not 4-0, we can come back and put them in the crosshairs for sure. But I think we should give an honorary crossfire to Harrison Buckers. I almost said a curse word. How dare I? But yeah, I mean, Denver's coming off a huge win. Keep the momentum going, obviously with the stretch of games coming up. But yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, here I can do this. We called out Derrick Henry and John Harbaugh last week. I'm going to call out Nick Sirianni's dumbass for giving Saquon Barkley a career low 6 carries with 1 in the second half. He had 1 carry for 17 yards and then 13 combined yards on 5 carries after that. Dude's electric. He absolutely torched Alex Singleton on a wheel route. And then they don't ever look at that play ever again. Mm-hmm. So just seeing the stat of a career low 6 carries, John Harbaugh, is that you?
Well, and even like you said in the past game, like since they were clearly listening to outside noise and tried to prove that they could win games passing the football, which I don't understand why listen to. You're 4-0, just do what you do. Like who cares? Yeah. But even if you're going to quit running the ball, why don't you quit throwing at Pat Surtain so many times? Like, yeah, you were getting 5-yard catches on him, but is that really is that doing anything?
I can sit here and say I get little PP energy with Nick Sirianni though. Like that dude's just a tool.
Honestly, yeah. So, and if you're going to pass matchup nightmares, right? Whoever the linebackers are guarding, whether it's Dallas Goedert, whether it's a backup tight end, whether it's your running backs, like don't throw at Pat Surtain. Why? Like, are you really trying to flex and prove you can? Because honestly, I'd rather you not throw to AJ Brown and we win. Now I know you want to keep your players happy enough. I get that. But at some point, my end goal is going to be to win. I'm sorry about the outside noise. I'm sorry you're upset. But my first goal is to win. So I think even Andy Reid would get Saquon Barkley more than 6 carries in a game. Like, that's just, I don't know. It's mind-blowing.
I don't know about that. I don't even know if Andy would do that.
It's close.
But I do want to pull at him, and I want to ask, hey, Eagle fans, I want to hear your guys' excuse. Give me your excuse.
It's the reps. It's a slippery field. It's Nick Sirianni. Like, the dude's taken you to, 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years? You've won 1, but you've still been to 3? 2 or 3?
2 since Nick Sirianni. The third one was Doug Peterson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you've still been pretty dominant with Nick Sirianni. Like, shut up. You're not going to win every game every year. Like, no, you lost to a better team on Sunday. That's it. It's not a more slippery field. You know, it's not this. It's not that. Like, you just lost a football game. It's okay.
The ball's on Sean Payton to go for 2 there. I was kind of like, what are we doing? Well, what are we doing? But hey, genius move. I get it. I get why he did it.
Cory, aren't you a little nervous that the Broncos might take this win and think their shit don't stink and then shit the bed against the Jets in London?
No, I don't. I think Sean Payton's a good enough coach, and I think these players are smart enough to understand that anything can happen. I look back to last season, we had a huge road game against Tampa Bay. They were, I think, undefeated at the time. I think it was week 3 or week 4. And Bo Nix actually had his best game of the season that game on the road. And that kind of turned the tide. I think that was, Yeah, I think it was early in the season. I can't remember the exact week, but I think this is similar. The only difference is now you're going from Philadelphia, you're going overseas, you're going to London. Sean Payton, strictly business trip, no sightseeing. We're there to work. So I think we have a coach who knows how to handle this, and I think the players are buying in. I can't say enough about the guys, their comments that they're making after the games, the respect they have for one another, the buy-in. The offense understands that they have to do better, and the defense knows that, hey, we have to kind of hold the fort down while we can. But there's nothing but faith in Sean Payton and even Bo Nix. And I think J.K. Dobbins has a lot to do with this. I think I know I was really excited when we signed J.K. Dobbins, and I think J.K. Dobbins in the end is going to end up being the huge X factor for this offense. But no worries. I mean, it's in the back of my head, but I'm excited after that win more than I was after the week 1 win against the Titans.
Okay. I think we'll see it, honestly. So the Eagles have kind of an interesting matchup. So Thursday Night Football, they play the Giants in New Jersey. So I would not be surprised if the Eagles drop another one. But the Broncos play the Giants, what is it, week 8?
Next week.
I think that'll be an interesting one because I don't know, I feel like that they have a pretty good defense in Jackson Dart. I feel like that's an interesting game to see if the Broncos don't slip. But we'll see. You guys have an opportunity to take over the division in the next couple of weeks. So
I think we made multiple comments when we were watching that game against the Eagles. Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper just absolutely had their way with 2 really good tackles. I mean, there was a couple times where Nick Bonito didn't even get touched coming around the edge. Again, it was the Saquon Barkley wheel route that they just never looked at. So I am a little concerned with Breece Hall. I'm just not all that worried that they just know how to utilize this with this coaching staff, just based on what I've seen from the Jets. But we can preview all that tomorrow.
All right. We good on the Crossfire?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, League Recon. So, of course, we dive into the AFC West, but we're going to talk about some of the stuff around the NFL. So, fellas, before we get started, I want to know quickly who your guys' top 5 teams are after week 5. Austin, why don't you go first?
Right. Week 5, I think out of respect, I'm going to throw the Jaguars at number 5.
Wow.
I don't think they're actually a team that can make a great playoff push. But through 5 weeks right now, you'd be kind of ridiculous at 4-1 with wins against the Chiefs and the Niners to not show them some respect. So I'm going to have Jags at 5. I'm going to have Colts at 4. Honestly, Colts would have been my 5th, but I still think they're a little bit better than the Jags. A little more firepower on their side of the ball than the Jags. 3, I'm going to go Eagles. Eagles still belong up here. I mean, a loss to Denver is, not a bad loss. 2, I still like the Bills. I'm a Josh Allen fan. They're sticking to running the ball pretty well with James Cook, which is always a thing for them. Their defense worries me, though. That's been a little weak compared to previous years. So Bills number 2, and then I just think the team you just really don't want to play when they're rolling, and it's the Lions.
Okay.
That's who the Chiefs have next. We'll preview that matchup a little tomorrow, but they're a pretty – if they have a weakness, it's their secondary, but they got a great front 7 on defense, which helps the secondary a little bit. And then, we all know what they are offensively. Took a little bit to get going in the regular season without Ben Johnson, but they clearly found their stride again. So right now at full health, to me, the Lions are the best team.
Okay. Cory, what about your top 5?
Yeah, man. Number 5 is Jacksonville. Go back and watch a few weeks ago. I called Jacksonville a sleeper team from the AFC South. I still like Trevor Lawrence, but I also love Liam Cohen. And I was telling you guys before we came on here, just go back and look at the Buccaneers last year with Liam Cohen. He was able to get that running game going. And now you're seeing that with the Jaguars. And they're kind of letting Trevor Lawrence made some good plays last night with his legs. So I think they're not going to want him to take direct hits like he was taking last night. But I think that's a huge factor. And then number 4, I'm going Philadelphia. Like Austin said, the Broncos loss isn't a terrible loss.
Wow, 4, huh?
Yeah, at 4. They have some questions they need to start answering. They really do. Luckily for them, they do play the Giants this week. So I still think the Giants are a get-right game for a lot of teams until the Giants can kind of figure that part out. Number 3, give me the Bucks. Give me the Baker. Give me Baker. I love what they're doing with the Ibuka. Without Mike Evans, it kind of makes me think Denver probably got it wrong in their first-round pick, not taking Ibuka. The dude's lights out. He's on a ridiculous pace right now. And I like their defense is doing enough. I still think there's some weak points, but lucky for them, they play in a weak division too. So they should be able to get out of that division clean and, get that home game in the playoffs, and you might be sitting fine. Number 2 is Buffalo. They still have Josh Allen. They're going to be fine. I do agree, but it's no coincidence that they trade out Joey Bosa with Von Miller. So Von Miller now with Washington and Joey Bosa is now with the Buffalo, and their defense is ass. Hey, man, shit's contagious, not going to lie. Number 1, it's the Lions, the Fighting Campbells. I want to see what happens with Terrion Arnold. I know he kind of got carted off the other day, and it's not looking too hot. That could be a big loss for that secondary. But I like they got some gritty players on defense. So as long as your offense is putting up 30 to 35 a game, your defense has a little bit of cushion. So that's my top 5 this week.
All right. Very good. All right. My top 5. Number 5, I have the Niners. I think them having Mac Jones, who has won them 3 of their 4 games, 1 loss. The 2 big game or the 3 games that they have won have been all in division, and that's including the Rams that they just beat on Thursday Night Football. And they held their own pretty good with only having their 3rd and 4th best receiver. They didn't even have their top 2 and no George Kittle. So to me, I think number 5 for the Niners for me. 4, I like the Bucks. I really like that offense with Baker Mayfield. I feel like Baker Mayfield is on a tear, probably his best season in his NFL career. So, and I feel like it's only going to get better. 3, I've got the Bills. Them losing to the Patriots was bad, but it's Josh Allen. They have a really good offense, defense suspect, but it's the Bills. They're favored literally in every matchup this season. Number 2, I have the Eagles. I did not have them fall so far on my list only because, look, they lost to a good defense in the Broncos. They're still the Super Bowl champions. Like, they're only 4-1. They were undefeated going into this week. They have 1 loss. They have now caught up or fallen down to where everybody else was at, and they were at number 1 because they were undefeated, in my opinion, for majority of the season. They're still champions. The fact that they blundered and didn't use Saquon Barkley, which is, I don't understand why you don't do that, but I still think that this team is pretty rock solid on the defensive side. And if they just run the ball, no one stops them. So number 1, I think we're all in unison on this one, Detroit Lions. I think since week 1, when they got their mouth punched in by the Packers, that they have been on a tear, and I don't think it's going to let up anytime soon. I'm actually curious to when they match up again because, the Packers have kind of fallen down a little bit since tying with the Cowboys. I think they were smelling themselves a little too much and thinking that they had this all elite defense, and this defense has given up quite a bit of points, and they've actually kind of been slacking. So I really like the Lions at number 1, and I feel like that they're going to hold this spot for a while because they are a team that, without the coordinators that they had last year, are still as good of a team, if not in some respects, maybe better. And credit that to Dan Campbell and him and his coaching ability in Detroit for sure. So that's my top 5.
Well, and you see that a lot when head coaches lose coordinators. They don't always replace them very well, right? So then now if you can get in a cycle of replacing them in-house and do well, I know their offensive coordinator was with Sean Payton last year, but he's been with the Lions before, so he had familiarity with the area and with that group. And then I think the other thing with your top 5 is hell yeah for Mac Daddy at number 5. Dude, Mac Daddy should be the starting quarterback for the 49ers the rest of the season.
Yep.
I get it. They just paid Brock Purdy, but Mac Jones was absolutely just battered last week, and he just fought through everything and got a huge dub.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he was humbled after the game, saying, "Hey, this is literally Brock's team. You take it, man. Like, I get you're saying the right things, but no, deep down inside, he's like, yeah, fuck that guy."
Yeah. Well, and I will also say too, this is just a testament to Kyle Shanahan. I mean, to just be able to trust in Mac Jones. Mac Jones, when he was with the Patriots, I think a lot of people were written him off, and he goes to 49ers. He gets behind a really good culture and a good coach, Kyle Shanahan, and look at how he's doing. And you look at like a coach like Kevin O'Connell, who is a quarterback whisperer as well, and Kyle Shanahan. They get quarterbacks that are able to just produce. So good on Mac. I hope he does get the starting nod, because I did pick him up in a fantasy league, and if he starts for the 49ers, he's going to pick up a ton of points for me. So I'd be looking forward to that. So, all right, that is our top 5. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll post this on socials later, and then that way you guys can comment below what you guys think. Moving on to our next segment, we got buying or selling. All right, guys. So, Austin, I'm going to kick it off with you. Buying or selling, the Chiefs will miss the playoffs.
That's crazy. Come on. I'm selling that.
Okay.
They're going to make the playoffs. We're so accustomed to what we've seen from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in this era. Is it worse? Yeah. But a point you've made a couple times, you're not going to continuously go like 11-0 and 1-score games. Like, you're not going to play perfect football every game, every year. You're going to lose some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right now they're losing them. We're hanging in there. We're staying competitive. I still think we might get a little worse this upcoming week once we preview their matchup tomorrow. But I still think there's not 6 teams in the AFC that I'm still taking over the Chiefs right now. So, I mean, even if they're the 7th seed that's still in the playoffs, if they're the 3rd wild card that's still the playoffs,
mm-hmm.
I'm not taking 6 teams in the AFC over the Chiefs right now.
Let me do a follow-up then. If they do make a wild card to where they're a road team, do you think they can still go deep and get back into the Super Bowl, or do you think that's where maybe they're not as good if they don't have home field advantage?
No, I mean, we went on the road. I guess we've never gone on the. We won a road game 1 year.
It was 2 years ago. You guys were on the road.
Yeah, so
because that was the big thing. He's never played in the AFC Championship game on the road, or it was just a playoff game on the road,
and it was fine. I think if they make the playoffs, barring any, I mean, if we're down our 2 starting tackles and 3 receivers and stuff again, it becomes difficult and whatnot. But yeah, if you get Patrick and Andy and this team into the playoffs, I think they're as safe as bet as anyone else in the AFC right now to still be able to make a run.
I keep seeing everyone say the Chiefs are playing with their food. I think we're past saying that. Like, understand your team's just not that good as what they were. Nick Rice, I hate that guy so much, and I can't stand listening to him. And I just try to tune him out. But the whole aspect of the Chiefs are still this and this. I mean, give it up. Like, yes, we understand they're still, the Chiefs. They still have Patrick. They still have Andy. But this isn't the same team that's been playing the last few years. So quit saying they're playing with their food, because now they're losing these close games. The black magic's over. Now you have to adjust. You have to be able to adjust in the NFL. How are you going to adjust? They've been the hunted for a while now. We know that. Now, how are you going to adjust with some teams catching up to you? Are you going to continue to have guys take plays off, or are you going to reset and say, hey, that's not the standard we've set here. Maybe we need to, step it up just a notch. But yeah, no, they're still going to make the playoffs. I'm selling that. I'm saying, just quit with the whole they're playing with their food part of this thing, because that's overplayed.
Yeah, I'm also selling this. I think they'll make the playoffs, wild card or otherwise. But I think what is interesting, though, is they don't have Rashee Rice. And I do feel like this offense each week gets slightly better now that Xavier Worthy is healthy. You get Rice in the mix of this. I think that changes the offense a little bit. Run game is slightly better. Kareem Hunt had 2 rushing touchdowns. They're getting Pacheco in there. Your defense, though, I mean, they gave up a late touchdown to the Jags, which is not something I would have suspected the Chiefs to do, which I think is very interesting. So some part of me thinks that the Chiefs have gone to the Super Bowl so often that they have complacency, that they don't focus in the early parts of games when they need to settle in. They kind of like, when Golden State was constantly going to the NBA Finals, Draymond Green said, yeah, it's really hard to come up when you have to play the Hornets, on a Tuesday night. It's hard to get your energy up just because what are we talking about here? But, the Chiefs, if they can fight the complacency, get this team formed, again, with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and we've talked about this, Austin. And the reason why I say like you're not going to always win one score games is because a couple seasons ago when the Vikings had Kirk Cousins and they were like 8-0 in one score games, the following season they were like 3 and something. Like it was a complete shift. It balances itself out, and you guys are just in the middle of that. But I also do still think that when push comes to shove in late game situations, I still trust that the Chiefs will find a way to get it done. And I still think that they'll make the playoffs by hook or by crook. Now, how far they go, I think is another question.
I kept saying last night on Twitter X, Matt and I were pretty high on Rashad Smith coming into the draft, and Matt and I both had him as a sleeper running back. The Chiefs are starting to get him more involved. Mm-hmm. I need to see him get more involved and give him some runs. Right. I know you want to get him in the passing game, but I want to see what he can do. There was a couple kickoffs where he could have taken a house. There was one, he had a nice, I think it was like a 40-yard return, but it was brought back by a hold. But he shows the electricity that he has, the speed. And I kept saying on X last night that this guy's Jerick McKinnon. He could be that big of a key in the offense. So I'd like to see the Chiefs get Rashad Smith more involved. I get you want to keep going with Pacheco and you want to keep going with Kareem Hunt. Those are your two boys. But you have, I think, this gem in Rashad Smith, and I think they're slowly getting him more involved, and I think they know it. I just think they're waiting for that right time to just absolutely unleash this guy. But I still think he could be a key to the Chiefs this season.
Interesting. All right. Next one. Buying or selling Chargers, despite injuries, will still make the playoffs. Cory, I'll let you answer that one.
I would say they would, but this Omari and Hampton thing's huge. Haskins and Vidal, and I think they brought in Naeem Hines. I don't know if they ended up signing him or not.
I think they did. I think they had signed him to the practice squad.
Then you're down your tackles. Justin Herbert's starting to get hit a lot more. You got some holes. I don't. I now take the Chargers out because we talked before that we don't think there's the 3 teams from the AFC West now. So it's damn sure not the Raiders. So the Chargers are not going to be. So it's
Yeah, I'm gonna sell this as well. I actually think that they're on the cusp of, because of all the injuries, and they remind me of the 49er teams that are always like Super Bowl contenders, and they go through this flock of injuries that tanks their team, and then they're fighting for a wild card and just don't have enough because they just don't have their guys. So I'm actually going to sell this. I think that they're high risk of, not making the playoffs. The Commanders kind of exploited them with injuries, showed that it made it really hard for that Chargers team offensively to keep up with the Commanders. Commanders defense was able to get home to Justin Herbert. The defense kept him in it, but I mean, very similar to how the Raiders play. You can't have your defense roll out there when you just gone 3 and out, or when your offense just doesn't have it. And a lot of that is just because pass protection. And now without Hampton, who, was your best running back to begin with, that's going to be very tough for this offense to manufacture points and to rely on the defense. So
I know we were watching some of the Chargers game the other day, and I think it was 3 straight plays of Vidal and Haskins, and my brother was like, where the hell's what is going on?
Yeah.
We must have missed the injury because we put red zone back on after the Broncos game, so we didn't quite see everything that was happening. And then obviously Hampton was starting to turn the corner a little bit. It sucks. We never want to see injuries. They did make a trade for Oweh today. I don't understand why I think you would be looking for a lineman, but hey, the Chargers are going to do what they think's best for their team. For the sake of the competitiveness, I hope they're, I hope they stay competitive. But Justin Herbert's starting to get a little more
beaten up.
Yeah, just it's one hit away essentially, like anybody. But he's starting to take it a little bit more than this was like 2 or 3 years ago when he was just constantly just getting rocked. So hopefully, we don't want to see that. But you got to protect Herbert. So I don't know how Owe is going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think there's 3 teams from the division either. So that means I think Denver's going to win it, just given right now I think they're just in a better position. And so that means it's coming down to the Chiefs or Chargers. I obviously think the Chiefs are making the playoffs. So I just don't think the Chargers are, and that's strictly because of the injuries, right? Like if you drop back and put it on Justin Herbert's shoulders, you'll get Alt back at some point. But you're still going to be down another legitimate Pro Bowl / All-Pro tackle. And now you don't have a game-changing run game that you can lean on. Not saying that they won't be able to do something in the run game, but I don't think these running backs are someone you're going to lean on in a game. So they're so beat up. And like you said, it takes a toll on your defense at that point. Chargers are a good defense, but it's really hard when,
3 and outs with turnovers.
As the season goes on, instead of kind of maintaining snap counts, these snap counts for them are going to go up each week. Slowly playing more and more because the offense just can't get going. And that's rough. So I do think it comes down to the Chiefs and Chargers. I think one of those two. And again, both these teams and coaches are good. There could still be 3 teams from the AFC West. I just don't think there will be. So right now, I think the Chargers end up on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I agree on that.
And I think that there's other teams in the AFC that are just dog shit right now as well. So, I mean, that could help. But you got to start stealing some of these games. Like, if you're the Chiefs, you can't lose that game to Jacksonville last night.
Nope.
Right.
So I continuously talk about margin of error, right? So, like, Denver helps themselves with the Chargers losing, and now the Chiefs losing. Their margin of error is there. Chiefs going to 2 and 3. They obviously are the division winners, so their schedule is going to be a little tougher because now they're playing all the other division winners from last season. So the beautiful stretch that Denver has coming up, not necessarily the same stretch that the Chiefs are going to have.
I think the saving grace for the Chiefs is I think the next 3 or 4 games are at home. So if you can find a way to make good on that.
So here's the schedule for the next 5 weeks, I'll say. So you're at home against the Lions, at home against the Raiders. We can just call that a bye week. At home against the Commanders, and then you go on the road to face the Bills and the Broncos. That's the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, outside of the Raiders, that's pretty brutal.
I think the Chiefs need to look at going 3 and 2 or 4 and 1 there. I don't know if they can get. I mean, statistically, to keep up, they need to go 3 and 2. They need to have above 500 in that 5-game stretch. They can't afford to drop more than 2 games. Because even after the Broncos, it's the Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers. So, and then there's the Titans. They get a stretch of the Titans, Broncos, Raiders. Yes. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Chiefs' margin of error is a little slimmer. But I think you have to start thinking health and safety wise for the Chargers as far as your offensive line is just absolutely not it right now. And Justin Herbert can't continue to take a beating. So, I mean, I would pick the Chiefs over the Chargers right now to get into the postseason. But I like what he said. I think it's going to come down. And I'm not sitting here saying Denver's even going to just straight up win the division. Denver's still got to take care of theirs. So, the common denominator of all this is the Raiders aren't in this discussion. Gee, thanks.
You're welcome.
Guys. Final buying or selling. Buying or selling, Baker Mayfield will win the MVP. Austin?
I'm buying all the stock in this.
Okay. You think he's going to win MVP?
He should. It doesn't mean he will. I mean, you have the favorites who are right now, the Josh Allens of the world, but even last year, man, Baker put up like 1,000,000 yards and 1,000 touchdowns, and I still felt like it was kind of overlooked for whatever reason. So for whatever reason, I think he should win it. I don't know if it means he will. That dude is just different right now. You have a legitimate case for making that he's the best quarterback in football right now. By far the most clutch quarterback in football right now. I mean, that dude is just – he's good the whole game, but when you watch him on those drives they have to have, he's different.
Right.
Like, I don't even know how to put it into words. Like it's just another gear. And not everyone has that capability to be able to do that in clutch moments. And, like, he's just unfazed and willing to literally break his body to do whatever it takes to make sure his team gets what they need in crunch time. So I'm a big fan of Baker. I think, he hasn't even had Godwin, Evans, and Ibuka together yet. And, now he's out Irving this last week. Like, he's battling some injuries around him too, still finding a way to keep the ship afloat and still just dominate. So as of right now, I'm absolutely buying all the stock possible on Baker Mayfield winning the MVP.
Cory?
I love the Bake Show, but I'm selling. I think keep an eye on Jared Goff, what he's doing. I get it. Weapons, who's around. I mean, Baker still has some pretty good skill position players. No running game, obviously, which Jared Goff does. Happy for Baker. I want to continue to see. He's good for the game. He's good for the quarterback position. He brings a different aspect to the quarterback position. But no, I mean, I think he'll be there at the end. I just don't think he'll win it.
I want to buy this so badly just for Colin Cowherd to eat his words, because I remember how much hate he had for him, or at least dislike that he had for Baker Mayfield being drafted number 1 overall. And nothing would make me happy to see Baker win the MVP with all that he went through in Cleveland and Carolina and all that stuff. But I think I'm also selling this, and it's not because Baker doesn't deserve it. I just think that, you look at Dak Prescott and like what he's doing with the Cowboys, he might have a better story. And it's also the Cowboys. I look at Matthew Stafford. He actually has better statistics than Baker Mayfield. Patrick Mahomes has an argument depending on where the season ends. And who knows where Bo Nix is. Bo Nix had a really good game against the Super Bowl champions where he led a drive to get them ahead of that fourth quarter game. So maybe Bo Nix, depending how the end of the season goes. I just think that Baker Mayfield's going to have to play more almost perfect football from here on out, even though he's already done that. But I think, we're week 5. We still have 12 more weeks of football where he needs to play at such an elite level, and he can't afford to drop in order to get the MVP. So I think it's a great story. I love that Baker Mayfield 5 weeks in is killing it. But I think that there are other quarterbacks that probably will get more recognition than Baker is, at least towards the end of the season. But it also depends on where the Buccaneers fall. Who knows? Because that division is a little interesting. The Buccaneers are 4-1 right now. What if they go on a losing streak and then the Falcons kind of creep up on them, or whatever the case may be? And who knows what happens in the AFC in that conference and those quarterbacks. So I'm selling this one, unfortunately, but I'm rooting for Baker for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, statistically right now, I think it really is just between him and Goff. Dak's doing okay, but statistically, if you throw Baker's winning in there on top of his rushing ability as well, Baker probably has catches this year too. I mean, I don't watch full Bucs games, so I don't know, but I think right now you pair the positive statistics he has on top of winning football, on top of he only has 1 interception right now. Like, so he's also not turning it over like Geno Smith. I think all of that right now through 5 weeks, I am absolutely like Baker Mayfield is the MVP. Will he be here at the end of the year? Who knows? But after 5 weeks, I would give the MVP to Baker Mayfield.
Solid. I mean, we'll see. We'll do a follow-up on this for sure. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
it would be like a new 5 guys come week 10, right? Like that's how up and down the season is. Like Goff, Stafford, Dak, and Baker right now, and then week 10 we might throw like a Puka Nacua in there because he might be on a 2,000-yard watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, at some point we need to see, is there any skill positions that we would say maybe deserve the MVP? I don't know. I mean, it seems like, who do you have, Austin, with your hand raised?
It's never going to happen again in the history of football.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not the right position or side of the football. But right now, Nick Bonito.
I mean, he would
be on pace for like 28 sacks.
Yeah, I think so. He had 2.5 on Sunday.
Yeah,
7 in 5 games. He's on a really good pace.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He might have
has a defensive player ever won MVP?
I surely at some point. I feel like only the last 20 years it's turned into just the best quarterback.
I mean, it might as well just be who's the best quarterback, because it's definitely not.
TJ Watt tied the record. I don't even know if he was top 3 in MVP that year.
Who?
TJ Watt. He won Defensive Player of the Year, but I don't know if he even got MVP votes. Not enough to be in the finals.
I think MVP. What's tough is it's definitely going to an offensive player because they influence the side of the ball that scores. Like if Nick Bonito was sacking, and then also like what JJ Watt was doing, which is like intercepting and running it back. Like maybe we have an argument there, but I mean, Nick's
careful because they were dropping him back in coverage the other day.
He had pick 6 last year.
He had pick 6 last year. 2 picks. He had 2 interceptions last year.
I mean, if he gets a couple of interceptions, turns them into touchdowns, then yeah, I think we have a talking point. But I don't know. I think
dropping him back, Vance Joseph's been working very, very, very well with what he's doing with Bonito. So we're 5 weeks in. He's already got 7 sacks. So I'm very, very confident in saying that Bonito's going to add some forced fumbles in there. He's going to obviously add more sacks.
What's wild is Denver's about to have, barring injuries, we don't wish they're about to have back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year.
We're on pace to break the record for most sacks in the season. And I would really like to see Vance Joseph get smart, not only drop Nick Bonito back, but I'd like to see him match Bonito up with some of these running backs because he's fast enough.
He's faster than
the
people you're throwing out there.
And I get it, Alex Singleton, and Matt and I give Alex Singleton and Riley Moss a hard time, but those guys really have been playing balls out. So outside of a handful of plays, Riley Moss did fine. But Nick Bonito, I think Vance Joseph's got some stuff up his sleeve for Nick Bonito. And this is a Nick Bonito household.
Are you surprised? I wouldn't say it's a Nick Bonito household. I do think he's good. Like, I'm not going to go buy his jersey or anything. But are we surprised I said a defensive player? Like, are we surprised?
Nick Bonito get 20 sacks, I'll buy your jersey.
I don't want his jersey.
I want his jersey.
I'm not going to buy you his jersey no matter what. I didn't even buy you a Broncos jersey when I lost a bet and had to buy you a Broncos jersey.
Oh,
No, I pivoted and bought him a Royals World Series jersey.
That's foul. You got to honor the bet.
I bought him a Wade Davis autograph picture too.
Was that a part of the bet? Like, no. Is that and addition to the Broncos jersey I owe you, I will also buy you?
No, he didn't get. I'm not buying a Broncos jersey. So he got a Hall of Fame edition jersey and an autograph.
I'll buy Nick Bonito's jersey for myself.
Yeah. But I'm saying if he breaks the record, I don't even know if he's going to be in the talks for MVP. They'll just chalk him up to Defensive Player of the Year and be happy.
And that's back-to-back Defensive Player of the Years for Broncos, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Well, so Jeff, partner of the show, I'll buy you all jerseys. I'd love that too. But he did say that Lawrence Taylor was the last defensive player to win MVP. So
it's been a while.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, it's Lawrence Taylor.
Exactly.
That's.
I do want to save the last 2 for tomorrow, by the way.
Yep, I got it. We've got a jam-packed show even tomorrow too, guys, so stay tuned for that. So anything else, you guys?
Hopefully Maddie's back tomorrow. We miss him.
I know. I'm waiting for his text to tell us that he's got home, but we'll have to wait and see. So
I'll wear my America shirt for him.
America. All right, guys. Anything else before we close?
Yeah. So again, as we said at the top of the show, Jimmy Smith, we have to reschedule. I know he was super excited about the big dub for the Jaguars last night. These guys are human, so they have lives as well. So things do happen. But again, we love doing this. As much as we love having the former players on, we love doing this. This is our comfort zone. We hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. Thank you again for everyone in the chat, in the comments section. I know everyone misses Matt. We miss Matt too. So hopefully he gets home safe, gets some family time in, and then he's back with us here soon. So Matt, if you see this, we miss you, buddy. And we can't wait to have you back on here because you are a huge, huge part of this show with us. So Jeff, thank you again. Angie at the Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Troy, you guys, thanks for continuing to make this a reality for us. So go Raiders.
Who said that? Let's go. Thank you, Jeff.
I think he's just clowning you, bro.
That's fine. That's at least he's being nice about it.
That's true. We were nice.
Yeah, I saw you guys snickering. I couldn't look at you guys. Huh?
I just want the crash outs, man. I look forward to
that crash out not good enough for you? I'm so sorry. Was my mental breakdown not good enough?
I enjoy it.
I hope when Matt gets back on here, he just talks so much shit and just gets you to burn out. Like just
Well, no, I'm actually pissed because Matt's the guy that's like, hey, just relax. It'll get, it's not that bad. And I'm like, dude, Matt, where you at, bud? I'm like,
yeah, no, but I can't wait to preview because I shared a lot of thoughts with you about this Raiders-Titans game, probably more thinking about the Raiders-Titans game more than I really truly should. But
yeah, nobody should think anything.
Yeah.
We have a friend who's a Raiders fan, and I'm like sitting here trying to like maybe give him help, like talking points and what to talk about with this and things to look at. So it's kind of like, I told him because we were like, are we going to golf Sunday? He's like, with the Broncos play. And I was like, we're playing the Jets. we're good.
We're good. Oh man, that's a trap game. Watch out, guys.
Shit. Trap game for the Giants? You fucking kidding me?
Every game's a trap game for the Raiders.
Yeah, I was gonna say
every game. Yeah.
All right. I don't need anything else. Take us home.
All right. Austin, anything from you before I close?
No, but I think y'all nailed it. Mostly we just miss Matt. Hope he is back tomorrow, but we'll find out. So
yeah, hopefully we hear from. All right, guys, let me start this. So thank you to the Beard Club. Thank you to Homage. Thank you to Shank It Golf. Sweet polo there by our man with the beard. Also want to shout out to Troy with Field Ops Kansas. If you guys need any field markings for your leagues and games, reach out to Troy and the crew. Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Angie and the team, thank you guys for being the Shovic's banking of choice, and thank you for being partners with us in the War Room. Lastly, Badger Barrel, thank you guys so much for the smokers. Literally now plan my weekends around using that, and my wife thinks I'm a fantastic cook because of it, and it's really the smoker doing all the work. So freaking love it. Thank you guys. All of our partners are listed down below, so if you guys want to go support them so they continue to support us, please go and do that because their partnership means the world to us because they allow us to get on here and talk for an hour and 10 minutes and crash out in front of you guys talking about our favorite teams in the NFL. So please go support them. And last but certainly not least, wanted to save the best for last as it is on the ticker and on the screen, Jeff and the crew from JBW Solutions. We are recording out of the JBW Solutions studio. Thank you to Jeff and the team for all of your partnership and support. They're veteran-owned, community-driven, safety-focused, and great friends of the show. Jeff and his team has been spectacular. Please go visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to make sure that your company is up to compliance and guidelines on all things safety that you may need and all the resources that you may find for your business. So we close that out, you guys. In addition to all of our partners, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go follow us on social media. We are posting on there all the time. Check out all the graphics, all that good stuff, because these guys on the screen work very hard on that. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow night for our preview show, and we'll see you guys.